Le Mans, Bugatti circuit,
Brands Hatch all the way through to Yas Marino.
it's Sonoma,
One race.
bumps galore,
YMTV.
YMTV.
Oh!
There's a clear now.
Oh, he's going to make it work.
Moving once again, now there's a swing down towards the double right hand. Who's it going to be?
It's Smith Lazio.
Okay, it's Ross Harmark.
That's racing.
That's racing. Bokin has the acceleration. What a race. What a race. Good evening and welcome along to the Online Racing League Z4 MSport Cup. We're here at round number 5 at Watkins Glen. It's been a great championship so far. Interesting to see all the top drivers coming back to 4 to 6 and seeing where they're at. After a little splash of 7, depends to see where they're at on 6. You know, it's been a nice sort of last ride for this game. My name's Alie, joined here in the commentary booth tonight by GTR Devilman. Matt 6661, whichever one you prefer. How's it going, man?
I'm doing very well. Are you?
I'm good. It's yeah, looking forward to it. This is one of my favourite tracks. I think it's a good one for overtaking. So it's going to be interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, who comes out on top tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the track itself is one of the definite more faster ones in the calendar for what we've got this time around. I mean, I know that we've got Monza coming up soon, but this one is just going to be power heaven. It's my kind of track, to say I don't like it, but it's my kind of track. You bring anything here that's just got more power than you know what to do with, and it's just going to work wonders. But with these things, ooh, they've just got the grip to just bomb it everywhere.
That's what I quite like about this championship, actually. It's been a little bit of a ringer, the championship. I mean, you know, a GT Spec League on ORL is it's what they do best. So, you know, we knew it was going to be good racing. The sort of interesting thing about this one's been, though, that the Z4 is such a grip car. It really does love tracks like Laguna Seca, like Sonoma, where you can just bump that aero up. But taking it out to places like Watkins Glen, Road America earlier on the championship has been like a whole new side of the Z4 that we haven't really seen, because it's slow as anything in a lobby in those speed tracks.
Oh yeah, it's definitely one of the slower ones out of the lot, but even with, if you was to run a no aero tune on this thing, it's still, the balance on it is phenomenal. You can just hammer the living hell out of it and it just nods in accordance and goes, yeah, okay, this is fine, I can cope with this. You throw it wherever you want and this thing will just grip and grip and grip.
Yeah, right, yeah, it'll take it.
Added bonus to it. Yeah.
It is exactly. I mean, Watkins is it's an interesting track for that, isn't it? I'm always tempted when I run around this track to bring a grip car. It never really works out for you, does it? But you know, it's so nice. It feels good to run through those fast corners and something with a bit of downforce towards the end of the track as well. These, you know, the sort of very fast section before you reach the start-finish line is it's just so pleasant in a car with a proper front end on it, and that's what everyone out here tonight at the ORL Z4 Cup has got. Where are we? Just past the halfway mark in this championship, I think. There's 8 stops on the road, and we're on number 5. And so the championship's sort of heating up a little bit. I can throw that right up on the screen actually for everyone to have a look at where we're at on the championship right now. I think Jacob Bokitt is taking a commanding lead right now. Lothario's just behind him, but he's been taking some pressure from the TX3 drivers, such as Ridge, sitting there in 4th position is behind. And it's been a little bit, yeah, it's been an interesting season for all these guys. No one's super consistent apart from Bokitt, who's managed to, do some great drives here, good comeback drives.
Bokitt has been on fire throughout the entire season. I mean, last week he didn't really have the best of luck around Silverstone, but he made one hell of a comeback race. Same with Nightmare. Nightmare got taken out quite early on in race 1, I believe, and race 2, I think. But just the comeback itself is amazing. Like, he just caution to the wind, gone. That's it. Once he set his mind on it and that foot is planted, Bokitt, Nightmare, gone. Completely.
I agree. He's one of those guys, you know, he needs a hare to chase, doesn't he? He needs something to chase after on the track, and definitely when he gets that, he just sets it on fire. The race not starting yet. We're still setting up towards qualification, which will be taking place anytime soon. I'm worried that it's already started. I don't think it has, though. I think we'll just be kicking off in a couple of minutes' time. And so we'll have qualification. That'll be 5 laps, and then we're going to be heading off into 2 11-lap races around the full circuit. So you get the bus stop, you also get the shoe at the back of the track. Every single bit of this track we're going to be using tonight, and I think all the drivers will too, because you can really you can gain a few tenths here by hopping over the grass. That's the thing. Do you expect to see some behaviour like that tonight, Matt?
I'm pretty sure that I think everyone's going to be wanting, like, especially in the qualifying, it's going to be leaderboard lines as close to the what Forza classes as clean as possible, just to get that time up there and as fast as it can get. And then through the race, I think some people might be playing it a little bit safe, so they don't bounce around and end up barrel rolling through the air at 3,000 miles an hour. But I think through like the likes of Bokit, Nightmare, TX3 Ridge, they'll be going hell for leather, proper hell for leather.
I've been loving watching Ridge this championship particularly. He's a little bit like, you know, he puts me in the mind of Commando when you watch him. Maybe a little bit, you know, maybe about a year ago with Commando when he couldn't quite finish a race back then. These days Commando's got good consistency. I'm not saying that Ridge can't finish a race. He's been winning all over the place in this championship, and credit to him. But he does go balls to the wall. He really pushes it, and so he's an exciting guy to watch, because you always have that kind of thought in the back of your head. Will he make it round this lap, or will it be an accident this time around? Well, that's exciting. That's exciting to me. All credit to you, Rich. You're dead fast.
Yeah, I mean, if I have anything to do with it personally, compared to what it was like with Commando, when he did have a few kerfuffles not that long ago, it was, as you guys call it, the commentator's curse. I said good luck to a specific someone, and then that someone disconnected, had massive lag spikes, or hit a curb and bounced it into space and back. So, I'm not wishing anyone luck. It's all on your own head, be it.
It is. It is. I mean, these races, you know, you got to have your elbows out, haven't you? With these, like, you got to expect a little bit of a bump here and there. Someone, you know, they're not going to take any prisoners. You know, remember that the great organisers at Online Racing League will be marshalling these events. They'll be looking over the replays, taking in complaints from the drivers. So if you're out there and you bump someone, you give them a little tap, there's no point letting him back through. You might as well just wait and see if the marshal gives you a penalty after the race.
Yeah. I mean, if you give someone a little bit of a tap, I mean, it's as Mellish says, Robin's racing. Like, it's gonna happen. But if it's a full-on move out of my way small peasant, then I think you might have done a bit of an umdinger.
Yeah,
maybe.
Exactly. I'm enjoying how confused everyone is in the chat of the B-roll video, which is from 4 to 7. I wanted to take some pretty assets from there.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, this has kind of been a bit of the fun of this championship. Has been our chance at YMTV to grab a few bits of content from 4 to 7 and work out how that works for us before we can maybe spectate in that game. And yeah, and we can hop back to 6 and get all the benefits of the nice spectate mode for the racing. So it's best of both worlds. 6.5, that's what I'm calling it.
Hey, you can't go wrong with Forza 6.5. It's always good. It's always good.
Yeah. We've got a good racing for you tonight, guys. So it's qualifying coming up first. We'll be heading on to Watkins for 2 11-lappers. After that, there's a good lobby of drivers, super fast people, and that's the kind of thing you'd expect from ORL. It's good to see as well, new to this championship, coming out today for the first time, is AMS Roadrunner, a little bit of a regular at the Online Racing League. and someone who's always exciting to watch race. It's going to be interesting to see how he measures up against people like Jacob Bokit, who've got the experience here, and like TX3 Ridge, who have that absolute dynamite pace.
Yeah, I mean, let's not forget that Roadrunner is the season champion of the Forza RC this time last year now. Jesus, that time's flown. But, I mean, it's like we were saying just before, I wonder what it'd be like if Bokit was to go in for the RC. Like, how far up would he get?
Yeah. I want that. I want that to happen. You know, Bokit,
So
if you're tuned in tonight, go do that. Go do that. You know, next time out when you next get a chance, go register. You know, it'd just be interesting to see, wouldn't it? He's a super fast driver, and interesting to see where he measures up. It's tricky though, isn't it? It's a funny thing with Forza RC because you get you know, often as drivers, and I'm thinking here of people like Type R, like TX3 Tactical, who are maybe, you know, we sing their praises here on YMTV because we're watching touring car, and then there's all rear-wheel drive or all all-wheel drive cars on the Forza RC, and that means that their talents are a little bit lost. So it's always interesting to see who translates to the Forza RC from the community leagues. And yeah, who has well, who doesn't get lucky with the car choice, basically.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at it as it was last time round, there were a fair few couple of people that, I mean, don't get me wrong, everyone was properly on form, and the level of driving on there was just phenomenal. But then you've got like people like Lightning that you can just give him a car and go run that for a bit, and it's like, ow, just. No, go away. Take your speed and shove it. That's embarrassing, right? I can't even get close. That's just not fair. And then, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, just the level of skill on there is insane. The level of skill at ORL is insane. I think I'm seeing a pattern. That's probably why I stopped racing in leagues.
It's pretty tough stuff, isn't it? I did my first race at ORL just the other week. Funny to be on the other side of this, doing the McGanns with them. I managed to get up into A lobby, and the pace at the front. I mean, you don't, you know, calling the races, watching them, you can forget just how difficult it is even to get up there racing with the top people. You know, I sweated pretty hard on that McGann, and I got into A, but I was at the back end of it, and I wasn't able to run with that lead pack, and that's that requires a lot of work. So, you know, yeah, credit to everyone out here tonight in these Z4s, and yeah, it's also nice to give maybe this car a little bit of a send-off as well, because I imagine we're going to see a little bit less of the old BMW Z4 now that we've got the M6 to play with.
I wouldn't be so sure on that one.
No?
No. I much prefer driving the Z4 than I do the M6.
You know what? I agree. I agree completely. Now I think about it, I completely agree. The M6, I mean, it's a bit of a dog, actually. Yeah, especially because you can't give it race brakes.
No, you can't. Which is, I mean, who wants to be running around with a sponge? Like, come on.
Yeah. Here's a good question for the chat. They're asking about whether we're going to be commentating the tour at ASCC. In general, we are running that series, usually the endurance races on it. I've got to look up what's taking place this weekend. It's not Sebring yet, is it? It must be one of the sprint rounds, I'm going to say, from that championship. Yeah. It can't be Sebring yet, surely.
No, because if it's Sebring, then I think I'm going to have to start panicking, because I've done nothing for it.
Yeah, me neither, and I wanted to race that. So I'm guessing it can't be Sebring. So we're hopping in towards qualification right now. Yeah, not an easy track to hot lap this. But what do you think that the biggest challenge is in 5 laps getting that top time?
I think turn 1 is going to be all or end all, because I think with everyone that I believe will be taking as close to the Forza clean as possible, you've got to mount the curb on the exit of turn 1. And if you don't hit it just right, you'll be bouncing like not going to say it, or the bus stop, or the last two corners.
The last two corners are, you know, I've thrown away so many good laps by clenching up a little bit and not being relaxed coming through those last two corners. You need to be relaxed for that. They're fast, they need accuracy, but they're not that hard. You know, they're not that, like, they're not crazy difficult. It's just if you're tense, if you've tensed up, if you know you're on a good lap, it's really super easy to throw it away. We're just watching Aston Ash here, lobby host, running out there first. He's going to do the first hot lap, and that THR livery takes a little bit of a cut there on the way out of the bus stop chicane. I mean, that's it's faster to do that. It's faster to run across the grass there, but I think there's a limit. I think maybe you need to have your left-hand tires over the curb. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you keep it, I mean, if you were to just straight line it, then the grass will just drag you even further in, and then there's not really that much left that you can do. But for the corner following, if you hit the bus stop just right, you'll have essentially the perfect momentum to just rail it round. That's all you got to do, and the Z4 will just, it'll hook itself up nicely and it'll just carry it.
It's a great feeling, isn't it, when the car just, you just suggest that long right-hander to it, and the car just hooks in, and you can feel just all of the tyres just kind of wriggling into it, and it's going, it'll pull itself round that long right, maybe a little bit of feathering of the throttle, probably not even that in these cars.
Nah, you don't really need to feather it. I mean, the only place really where I would say a lot of people are going to be focusing on care and attention is definitely the last two corners, coming to think of it. Because it's like you were saying, you can have the best lap of your life and you can be on point through it, but you know those last two corners are coming up. And it's just, it's a bit of a panic inducement where you just don't know if you should let off that little bit too much, but if you don't get the late apex on the entry, and I don't know. I really don't. But we're going to see.
Yeah.
We're going to have to wait and see.
We'll find out. We'll find out. We're here with Aston Ash. I felt like he had a bit of a sluggish run through turn one. It looked like the car was just picking up a bit of understeer as he turned in. There you go, not taking that two wheels over the grass line there. Stop, and he might suffer for that honesty, because that's the fastest line through there. We go into the shoe, so just coming around the laces right now and off towards the toe of that. I love this little addition to Watkins Glen. I think the shorter track is slightly older, but this addition plugged onto it with a few smooth sweeping corners is just great to drive.
Oh yeah, I mean again, it's like we were saying before the stream properly started, if you've got a car that's got the front end that just digs in and just gets going for gold, like the Z4 does have, this track is amazing to drive. It's just such a nice feeling, and it's really rewarding when you get it done right.
Yeah, it is. I mean, for me, it's all about, like, you can really throw a lot of speed into a corner. That's what it is. Because I'll find that, you know, in practice with a car like this, I'll not run enough speed through the corner, and then I'll end up not using all the road on the way out, and that's where the temps are going to be for me.
That is very true.
47.8. So go on, yeah.
Yeah, and Sparky with a 47.7. So I think it's going to be a battle of the THR guys for now. But then on the other hand, with this track especially, it's weird. It's really, really weird. Probably because I get confused and I look at the wacky inflatable arm flailing tube men too much instead of concentrating on the track. And it's okay. I get it. But once you get this track right, even if you don't like it like I don't, but once you get it right, it feels so good.
It is a cracking feeling track. We're here with Roadrunner now. He's just set a 47.0 his first attempt. So crunching away at that lap time, breaking it down slowly. FTR Ads is still out there in the lead on a 146.8. He's been pretty fast all through this championship. A couple of weeks ago at Road America, he had a sniff at the win. Couldn't quite make that happen. So maybe he'll get another chance this time out at Watkins Glen. Roadrunner just popping his way through the bus stop chicane. We'll see whether or not he can improve on this time. Let's get the sector splits up on the top, and we'll see where we're at. You can see there, man on the move. This time out, actually, it's going to be TX3 Ridge. Not setting a time that he must have been very happy with at 4th place. On his first attempt, he's now 0.2 of a second up on that lap time. A 1:47.5, near enough as makes no difference. So he could be 0.2 off of that. It's not going to see him at pole position at all. That's 0.6 away. It'll see him moving up the field a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, yes, granted that in qualifying everybody wants to get the fastest lap time they can, and I mean, I can only speak for myself especially, but if I don't get the lap time I know I can get, it puts a bit of a downer for the race. And then I'm just not in the right frame of mind, and it takes me a lot longer to get into the groove of racing. But I don't know. I mean, it's like last time round, it was Jacob Bockett that was on pole through the entire thing for qualifying. Like, he was just on top lap after lap after lap and just kept improving. I mean, Ridge did clip him at one point, but then straight after that, Bockett went, I don't think so, mate, and then retook his position again. But in the race itself, Ridge just had it. Bockett had quite a massive string of bad luck, but Ridge he was on form, and just watching those two go neck and neck with each other was insane. Made me very jealous. Made me very jealous.
Right, the most pole position sittingest man, Madame Bouquet, as we call him, Jacob Bockett. I love that livery, Bockett. He's changed that up, added a little bit of that. Keeping up with the Joneses spice to it. I think he's been on pole position almost every single week of this championship. So what's he doing? 2nd place, that's going to feel like a loss. 1.5 in it to the leader. Let's see if he can improve here on his 4th attempt.
And knowing Bockett, he'll pull something out of the bag.
Not this time. I think he'll have run a lap time that's faster than this. It's so rare that you set a personal best in qualifying. So you'll almost always have run a practice lap that's faster. So it's frustrating when you can't find that pace in quali. So Bockett, I think, will know he's got that extra 1/10.5. I can't believe that when the difference is that small, he'll think it's impossible.
Yeah, I mean, you'll think the only way that it's going to be able to get it done, and that's Roadrunner that's popped up into 2nd with a 46.923, which is adding extra pressure onto Bockett just to be able to nail the lap. I mean, there's time and time again, you can run as many laps as you want, you can keep beating your personal best, but it's that one time that you need it to happen when you're properly trying instead of being relaxed. Because you don't know that you're going to set a personal best until you do it, and that's just the better feeling out of the two. Because when you're trying to hit that time that you hit in practice session and you're pushing as hard as you think you are doing, you're restricting yourself more so than just allowing yourself to go with the flow. So did I just say something quite clever? Sorry.
You did. You nailed it.
I did.
Almost got away with it. Bockett here. He's not up. It looked like a pretty sweet lap to me. It looked tight. He's 1.5 down, and I think he's looking at his first race start here off the front row of the grid. Let's see what he can do. Last time round toward the line, it's Ads who's taking pole position right now. Bockett crosses, and of course he does. That's pole 1:46.7. He won't let anyone else sit there. That's where he lives. So Bockett takes that pole position. Ads is 2nd. Roadrunner 3rd, and order is restored in the universe.
Yeah, I think Bockett was sort of saying in his mind, if you're going to come into my house, Ads, you better bring me some cookies. He did not bring cookies that day.
Exactly. This is my house. Madame Bouquet's house.
Swift has pipped Ridge with a 47.185. Wow.
So yeah, Swift there. Coming through the field at the very end.
Jesus. I've seen close, and then there's what those two are.
Yeah. Crazy, crazy close times here. Roadrunner, his first attempt out here. He's going to be starting second row of the grid, just behind Jacob Bokits. We're looking at that rear end of the car that we're looking at right now. As the race gets underway, TX3 Ridge will be the row behind there. So Ridge, you know, not like a dynamite. Not a dynamite qualifying for Ridge, but you know, I get the feeling he's a racer, you know, and he'll be out there throwing it around and just going balls to the wall. 'Cause I get the strong feeling that, you know, we haven't heard the last of him. I think that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I mean, it's like if last week's anything to go by, Ridge, yeah, granted he might have been in second or third for the qualifying. My memory's complete crap, I apologise. But in the race itself, Ridge was switched on. He had his balls to the wall and he just ran with it.
Yeah,
I think he might do it again. I'm pretty sure he'll do it again.
I'm so curious. So here we go. All right, so the first race will be kicking off next up. It's going to be 11 laps, driven in anger around here with one more lap before them. I mean, this championship's been cracking so far. I'm interested to see what Bokit can do. He's leading the championship by a country mile, but he's had to work for that throughout the season. You know, lots and lots of first corner incidents, lots of people having to muscle their way back up the field, and it makes for great viewing. So stick around. It's going to be a good night.
Yeah. I mean, if any of you guys are interested in getting yourself signed up, then there is the website of ORL that you can go and visit. It is onlineracingleague.pods.com. There you can just get yourself involved with it, and also on ymtvnews.com as well. You can get signed if you're a privateer and you want to get yourself assigned to a team. You can put up. I've forgotten the name of it. Psycho did it the other day.
So head on over
listing.
to, the drivers. There's privateers listing. Exactly, that's on ymtvnews.com. That's the one, right? And you can head on over there and fill in a form, get yourself registered for a team. We are happy to be joined here by series organizer GTR Tacq, one of the guys from Online Racing League. Tacq, here we are. So they're just passing the midpoint of the season at the ORL Z4 MSport Cup. I mean, how's it? Is it living up to your expectations? How's it going?
Yeah, well, I'm enjoying it. It had a real big insurgence at the beginning, and then it settled down a little bit, and now we've got sort of 19 people in the lobby, regular people that turn up every week, so it's becoming a real battle with some of the characters. AMS have joined in force this week, so I'm hoping to see big things from AMS Roadrunner, although he's qualified third, which was a surprise for me, but yeah, it's been a good series so far, and shame it's on 4 to 6, but we still get to do this, which is the spectate thing, which is great.
Yeah, it's fun, right? And I mean, Roadrunner, yeah, I mean, disappointed. Are you saying maybe he's disappointed with third? Wanted to be a little bit further up the field?
Well, I would have expected him to be up there right at the top. That's where I was hedging my bets. Pole position.
Yeah, you think so? Well, we were saying, man, you know, this is Jacob Bokit's house. This is his back garden right here. GT spec racing on ORL. He's done a good job. He's still bringing it to all the big teams out there. You reckon he can? Reckon he can take this championship?
Easily. Jacob's full of surprises. I like Jacob. He's a good character. It's nice to see a privateer giving the teams a run for the money, however frustrating that is for team owners.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, you're a head honcho over at GTR, one of them, and you know, surely you sent Jacob a message or two over the last months. Like, all right, mate, want to come pop GTR in front of that name?
I can safely say pretty much every team you've ever heard of has messaged Jacob and asked him to join, including GTR. But, he's happy where he is, and we help him as well. All the teams help him. They share the tunes with him, and he can get paints if he needs to. So it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nice big community we've got here on Forza. A lot of fun. Good old Jacob. I mean, so where we're at right now as well, with this season sort of coming to its midpoint, it's going to be hard for anyone new coming along to it to really challenge for the championship. Jacob doing a good job there, as we said. Is there anything else coming along on Online Racing League where, you know, as someone who's got their ear to the ground here on YMTV listening in, and they're thinking, I want to take a championship home, is there anything they can get on at the first step of the ladder with?
Well, once the Z4s are done with, I believe we've got some open wheel racing, so look out for that coming up on ORL. We've got some returning series coming, so we did the Porsche Cup back on Forza 6, that will be coming back this year. Hopefully we'll be using a different car, so that should be good fun. And then we have the Elite Factory Races, which will be starting on Forza 7 next on the 21st, which is about 2 weeks from now, 2 weeks yesterday. And this is a brand new format for ORL. So ORL and Tora, they all try to mimic real life racing events. This year we've tried to do something a little bit different. We've embraced the homologation system we've been presented with by Turn 10, and we are hosting a series solely based around that. So we're going to do Elite Factory Races, all 7 cars, over 7 weeks. Each week we're going to do 2 different tracks, and each week we're going to do a different car. Lots of tunes will be available on the leaderboard. You'll be able to check the times of everybody on the leaderboard, so everything will be in-game there to hand. And I think it will show for it will develop some really close racing and some very fast times. You know, you're going to see some #1 in the world times that nobody else can beat, you know, live on YMT.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I've always thought with these series, you know, one of the things that, you know, would be a nice added bonus is to have cars that are spec'd out to the top of their class. So in previous games that'd be like R900, for example. But yeah, now you make a good point. Now with the homologation system, we can do that and have that at the top of the leaderboard. Oh, it's gonna be cool. All right, all right, nice, yeah. I see your approval there, Tacq. Well done.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. It's tailored to the game, not the real world, and we all know the game's not real, so it should work, hopefully.
Yep. Exactly. It's got some differences which, yeah, you know, make stuff like that possible. So new kind of race in there. I like the idea of hopping into a different car every week as well. That brings some variety to it. Also, yeah, I mean, everyone racing the same car gives a kind of nice level playing field.
It pleases those that want spec, it pleases those that want tunes, it pleases those that want to check different sort of car all the time. It even pleases those that don't particularly like the tracks, because we're going to be doing 14, 15 tracks over 7 weeks. So if you don't like 1 or 2 of those 15 tracks, then maybe you shouldn't be playing Forza.
It's true enough, though, right? You know, there are only so many tracks in the world. Into something else. Into something else.
I know we've spoke about this, Alie, and nothing's set in stone yet, but we have got a little bit of something planned for the end as well. So there will be a grand final with something a little bit special for everybody to look forward to. So we'll announce that on the ORL website once we've got a bit more news.
Sounds awesome. I'm also really looking forward to the Formula Ford Championship.
Yeah, the Formula Ford. So
Formula Mazda? Which one is it?
It's Formula Ford with the aero.
Got it. All right.
Not the light.
With the aero. Okay. All right.
Yeah. That'll be coming after the Z4s. So like I said, open wheel racing will be coming to ORL once the Z4s are out of the way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks very much, Tacq. I'll let you get back and yeah, keep all these cats in a herd as they go around and try and win this race at Watkins. Nice, man. Have a good night.
That task is down. That task is down to Ash tonight. He's got to keep everybody in check. But yeah, I'll get back to the racing. I'll leave you all in peace.
You get to have a good one. All right, nice one, man. What do you think of my interview technique, Matt? Like, there's a certain Jon Snow thing happening there, I thought, with the diving in. You know, I got the Formula Ford thing out of him. You like that?
Yeah, that was very quirky. It kind of just then made me feel a little bit sad because I thought it were the open wheel legends. You know, like the Brabham and the Lotus, the McLaren.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to be those.
Yeah,
it
the
really
60s
piqued my interest. I love driving those things because they're actively finding ways to kill you. It's amazing. But the Formula Ford and Mazdas, no. Unless it's MSport and I'm up against you again. Then I'm down.
I've forgotten about that. Yeah, true. I'll beat you next time. I'll beat you next time. Me and Matt, I think we first met on the Forza RC doing the Fords, and Matt gave me a round beating at Nürburgring GP.
A round beating?
Sad time.
Mate, that was one of the best races that I hold dear to me. It was side by side with you for like, what, 3 laps? Constant,
yeah, that was a pretty
10-foot
good
difference.
Yeah.
Like, you can't get any better racing than that, yachts. Come on.
No, I agree. That was a fat race. I actually enjoyed that a lot. We're heading on for another seamless transition here. Check this out. We're heading over to another fat race going right at you here from the Online Racing League. It's the Z4 MSport Cup from Watkins, Glen. If you're watching YMTV, if you enjoy it, if you like watching esports racing, we've got loads of it coming at you, so do hit that like button, subscribe button, follow button, all the buttons like that. We like it when you press those buttons, so press them for us, and we'll smile somewhere deep inside. You know, that's what we do.
Deep inside.
Jacob Bokit on the inside. Inside, I'm smiling.
Yeah, okay. I'll get behind that. No, I won't. Hang on.
You're bad.
I'll let you carry on.
Condoned.
Jacob Bokit.
Condoned by Matt. Yep. Jacob Bokit. I was going to start talking about him. He's coming on to, you know, a race here, starting from pole position. Once again, taking that pole position at the very last opportunity, the final lap for him. Can he get round 1 without getting mashed into? That's my question.
I mean, it's fair game. If he accidentally gets a little bit potatoed going into turn 1, he gets a little bit potatoed. I mean, not everyone's going to have the perfect braking point. Someone's going to try and brake a little bit later and bugger it up, maybe. I mean, I knew I would. But on the other hand, it's Jacob Bokit. He's got cookies in his house. No one else bought them for him. No one. He's going to have them cookies by himself.
He's going to have all the cookies.
That's what I think.
I think you're right.
I'm not cursing him. Bad luck. It's not happening.
So just a little bit, just a bit of cursing. Just cursing like a tiny...
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just like...
The cookies, so they're rotten. That's it.
A mild grudge. Yeah.
Yes.
Heard it here first. So, here we go. Race number 1. We're loading in right now in the background. We'll be bringing that to you in just a second. As Matt said earlier, if you like what you're seeing here, if you're looking at this and going, what on earth am I watching? What is this glorious spectacle? This is community racing on Forza Motorsport, and you can head on over to onlineracingleague.proboards.com to get involved in that and to get your piece of this racing action. A little bit more martial, a little bit more strict than public lobbies, and also you get that sort of full race weekend experience with qualifying and 2 races after that. I say race weekend, it all takes place over a couple of hours. So here we go, heading on into the grid right now. We've got Bokit on pole position, side by side with him on that front row as FTR adds, and then it's going to be AMS, second row of the grid, Roadrunner and Swift. They're coming out in force here at Watkins Glen, 5th stage of this championship, and Alie Motorsport finally joining the party here. We've got a Nightmare as well here in 7th place, and side by side with him is THR Flex. Now THR have been doing a good job this championship. I mean, they've been fishing around for wins. I think last time I commentated a race, which was Road America, round number 3, we did see a THR victory, I think in the form of Flex. THR Flex took home the race 2 victory. What do you reckon, Matt? What will it take to see THR bring home a win here?
I think everybody in here is all down to the same sort of skill level. They've all got what it is that's going to take them off. So I really don't know. I don't want to say anything that's going to jinx anybody.
Here we are. I mean, Aston Ash, I completely forgot there isn't a warm-up lap in these cars. So they're straight going. Aston Ash flying into turn 1 here and trying to find his way past FTR Bobby. This is a little bit further down the field we're right now. Let's hop forward just a little bit to Sparky DS, because in front of him, THR Flex is a little bit offline and he's slowing him down. That's the jaws of FTR Lothario to the left. He wants a taste of that 7th position.
Yeah, and looks like that we've got Sparky that kind of went a little bit on the safe mode and just let him sail on through up along the bus stop, but he can get around him on the outer loop if that's understeer doesn't kick in as much as it had done. And now Lothario's able to just pull away, but Sparky's late on brakes. And all a bit northerner on you, then I apologise.
It's part of it. It's part of it. Get a little bit northern up ahead though. Swift having none of it up the inside of Ridge there for 4th position with Flex. The massive slide. That was the pause. I was looking at it, holding my fingers over my eyes, waiting to see Swift in that barrier. Bokit holds the lead still with Ads behind him. You can see him up there, a white car in that number 1 position. AMS Roadrunner Forza Racing champion, reigning in 3rd position. Night black car, and behind him his teammate AMS Swift running rear gunner, because, you know, Roadrunner, he doesn't race without a bodyguard these days.
No, I don't think he does at all, but I sat on board with Sparky for a little bit extra, and going into heel, he had Blaze that made quite an impressive dive bomb up on the inside, made it stick, but they had a little bit of a coming together, and now Bob has also gotten past Sparky, which is now put him back into 10th. But Nightmare is quite quickly shutting that gap between the pair of them, so I don't know what happened to Nightmare for him to get down into 11th position, but it looks like he might be able to pull off another Silverstone on us.
Yeah, bad luck there from Nightmare. We missed it on camera, but yeah, he was running just to the 7th, so a little bit further up the field than where he currently is at the start of this race. Must have had a little bit of a slip up on lap 1. He's not bad though. If you look at the mini map there on the bottom left of the screen, you can see that the lead pack hasn't managed to separate yet as Bobby gets it wrong through the long right-hander out of the bus stop, and Nightmare is now putting all sorts of pressure onto him. Let's hop back there with Nightmare and look forward toward this battle.
Sparky got a little bit quite deep on the brakes at toe, and that's allowed Bobby to just come up straight up along his inside. Now with these two battling, it's going to slow them down a little bit more, so that's going to allow Nightmare to move straight on up. But then we've got Tisky that's over 500 foot behind, so it seems to be a gap from 11th to first in quite a quick succession, but from 12th and beyond, I think it's just going to be a proper nightmare watching 2 different battles go on all around. And that's a little punt from Nightmare onto the back quarter panel of Bob, but he lets up so he regain his position.
It has diffused the action a little bit there, that little tap, but up ahead, nothing is diffusing them at all. Roadrunner, Ads and Bokit here. The top 3 in this race, still running line astern. We come in towards the 3rd lap, I should say, of this race. And Bokit, he's holding on, but Ads looks like he might have the pace on him here.
Yeah, it looks like the Ads has definitely got the no aero setup that Bokit's running. I mean, at Silverstone, Bokit was a bullet on the straights, but in the corners you could see it definitely suffered. But it looks like this time round, with them all being on a bit more of a level playing field, except Roadrunner, I think he's running more aero than the other two, because through the corners he's just minced that gap. Might have run a little bit wide on the outer loop, but he's still holding it. Still holding it true and fair, keeping it as close as he can. and the gap between Roadrunner and Swift is just extending.
It's so tempting on that outer loop just to get the power down a little bit earlier every single lap. And so you do find yourself coming out very, very wide there on the exit of it. Here, still going through the shoe. FTR adds, sniffing on the rear of Madame Bouquet. I can't see where he's going to make this happen though. You need a heavy braking zone this track. I mean, where are the overtaking spots around Watkins, Matt? I mean, what do you reckon? What's Ads' best chance here?
I'd say Ads' best chance would either be, it might sound crazy, but the outer loop, because you know what it's like coming out on the exit of the bus stop onto that bit, just to be able to get it as close to the apex as you can. If you overshoot it that little bit, then that's just wide open for, if you're close enough, take the down spot. But as well, you've also got the S's, or toe and heel. Like,
yeah,
there are so many different places on this track to just overtake someone. You've got to really have balls of steel to brake as late as possible, because it might be a little bit unnerving to do so, but if you nail it, you're golden, and you're just gonna fly off through the exit, and that's it. You bye. See you later on.
Yeah, exactly, as they say in Watkins Glen. Look at that though, there's a mistake right there from Ads. I was so relaxed watching him, he seemed so in control, completely wasn't expecting it. Roadrunner comes through, second place for him, made easy by Ads, who just over-rotated as he turned in there to the bus stop chicane, couldn't get the car pulled back for the left-hander, just left a couple of car widths. Roadrunner only needed one, he was through already. So now Roadrunner putting the pressure onto Bokit and looking for the win in this race.
Yeah, I mean, most definitely, but as you can see, just the gap just increased on the straights. Bokit has definitely got the no error that he's more comfortable with, but Roadrunner, I know that this track is a mixture of, you need quite a lot of grip for the sweeping corners, because this track is just littered with them everywhere, but you also need that straights line speed, because it's got massive straights. This track is definitely a really good hybrid.
It feels like a bad move, right, from Roadrunner to surely you'd want to run as much top end as you possibly could in a car like the Z4 at a track like Watkins Glen. You know, in the qualifying you might find another 10th, 2 tenths, but in the race situation you just need that top end, because it's so easy lap on lap to take that advantage out of the straights, whereas you can make a slip up in the corners and you can lose the 10th or 2 that's yours to gain very, very easily.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those that you just got to sit back and sort of find your groove, find your pace, and just keep working at it. Get relaxed into your comfort zone, music on, whatever it is that you do, and just get going. Because this track will reward you highly if you do. Once you find your groove,
yeah,
amazing to race.
Let's hop back to FTR Lothario. He's in a 3-way battle here for 6th position. Sparky DS up ahead of him, and AMS Blaze leading the way. Blaze with that amazing dive bomb earlier on in this race. You were talking about it, Matt. You know, still managing to hold out there from Sparky, but the way that he hasn't managed to drop him yet makes me think THR driver has the pace here, and Blaze is just holding on by his fingernails.
I think he is, but it looks like Sparky were going to try and go for the cheeky inside dive bomb, but Blaze saw what he were doing, because it's exactly what he did to Sparky. So he's just going to keep trying it on, let him know that he's going to go for it if he leaves space open. Just try to push him into a little bit of a mistake, but if he pushes a little bit too hard and the both of them mess up, Lothario's not that far behind. I say that, and then the curb nearly killed him, so I apologise for having commentators first. I don't mean it, it just sort of happens. But there it is. I think Sparky and Blaze are going to be ones to definitely watch in this.
Those two still going at it. I agree. I wonder, you know, slightly with these two. They're both looking, you know, jumping back from the leaders, where the lines are so super smooth, where every corner is perfect. You know, it's a tiny mistake really from Ads that saw Roadrunner come through. We're seeing just a little bit more roughness here with the steering inputs. a little bit more, yeah, it looks like these guys are just having to like chase the car a little bit through the corners rather than letting it do its thing. And that makes me think that we're going to see mistakes as Sparky DS just has a little bit of a sliding moment coming out of the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, I mean, that little bit of a slide, it wasn't, ooh, and there it is. Very heavy on the brakes from Sparky and Blaze, and Lothario's just moved up along the inside going on shoe. But that's also going to give Sparky the inside line to one of the more rewarding corners out of the lot, but somehow Lothario's managed to make it stick. And Blaze is going real defensive. Oh, can he do it again on the outside?
That late on the brakes there from Lothario, a little bit of clash on turn-in. Be forced back behind there, but I love that move. Lothario on Sparky DS, just pinching him on the apex through the right-hander of heel. And that was a move from the FDR driver. He made it work, made it happen very, very clean indeed. And now Blaze is defending like his life depended on it.
Yeah, I mean, Blaze is definitely, it looks like he's, as you said, hanging on for dear life at the moment. But I just hop back onto Nightmare because these guys are running through a four-way train from heel onwards. I mean, they might have separated a little bit now, but it looks like the Nightmare's got the grip more so than what Sparky, Lothario, and Blaze have. So I don't know. It could be a... I don't like battles of grip versus power. Well, no grip in spec cars, because I don't know which one to go for. It confuses me.
It's difficult, isn't it? You know, it depends on the track and it depends on so many things, and that's somebody way off the road there. Swift. He has destroyed that car. He must have
any damage.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through right now, and there it is. Big damage in front of his car. No mystery there. We didn't catch it on camera, but I think we all know what Swift managed to do. Now breaking himself on the way into the bus stop chicane. There's only one concrete wall that you're going to find, and you're definitely going to find it with the front left of your car. That's where the damage is concentrated here for MS Swift. So I wonder if we're going to see him in the pit lane. Big shame from him, though. He was running well this race, and now all the way back in 10th position.
Lothario looks like he's going for it. Oh, no, it looked like he were going for it, but he kind of chickened out at the last second, and both him and Blaze got on the brakes at the same time. But still give Blaze that little bit of a love tap, push him a little bit further out, and that is Lothario managing to get him up onto the inside for the last two corners. I would not want to be him right now.
That's a horrible line. So tricky to overtake there. Blaze is trying to take everything he can. Lothario with a couple of wheels on the grass under braking. You don't want that at all. Very risky stuff. And now the two AMS drivers of Blaze and Nightmare are fighting it out for the scraps that Lothario is leaving on this table.
Yeah, I think Blaze is just going to let Nightmare have that one. He doesn't want to risk any form of contact with his teammate. I mean, I don't know. It's just one of those where I really enjoy watching it, but at the moment when I see something happen and I have an idea on what's going on, my brain just turns to potato and I have no idea what's about to be said.
I mean, it's a shame to see it happen, isn't it? You know, Blaze running a good race. It's like that for me, though. You know, once someone breaks your rhythm, once they find a crack in your armor, everybody else seems to be able to find their way through. You know, it's so rare that you lose just one position. And Lothario and Nightmare both taking advantage there, coming through. I want to jump up, though, just to second position as Blaze puts a very brave braking move on there into the toe. But let's get up to Roadrunner in second, because he's dropping back a little bit from Bokit. And that's interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, I think that... I mean, with drivers like Roadrunner, Bokit, Assassin, Rage, you know what it's like once you get into your groove and you get going. I know I sound like a broken record, but just trust me on this one. These guys have spent time, effort tuning their car specifically for this track. I mean, so has more than probably everybody else as well. But the attention to detail that the likes of these guys put in is unfathomable in my head. I don't understand how they can manage to go, you know what, it needs just that tiny, tiny, tiny little change. And they go, all right, fair enough. And they go and change it, and it just seems to work. But the no error for Bokit is working once again. And I think that's what Roadrunner's missing out on. He needs that no error.
I'd say it's moments like this. I mean, I remember last season of ORL races, we saw Bokit and Rossi go toe-to-toe in the 458 GT Challenge. JSR Rossi, you know, another very, very fast driver right up there at the very top level. And Bokit was keeping him honest. Didn't ultimately win that championship. Rossi did take home the championship victory. But race after race, Bokit was showing there was nothing between the two of them. And now Roadrunner comes along into Bokit's cabbage patch and says he wants to give it a go in the Z4s. And Bokit, you know, absolutely on pace here with Roadrunner. And even maybe having a little bit more.
Okay, I don't know what just happened, but there was a bit of a massive lag spike between Nightmare and Blaze. And Nightmare's gone. He's just been taken out. No, he hasn't. He hasn't been taken out. He's been full on disconnected.
Half the field is disconnected. That's bizarre. I'm all the way down to 7th position right now. There's 7 people in this race. I don't say anything like that. What a bizarre moment. So we've got 10 of 11 laps. Only 2 laps remain. So I'm sure they won't restart the race. But that is. Yeah, never seen anything like it. I guess it's you know, it's a simulation of an elephant coming on track and crushing half of the cars, just like real life. Go then, Roadrunner and Bokit. Last couple of laps of this race. I wonder if Matt's had some connection issues as well. I'll just very quickly check. I don't want to miss the move between Roadrunner and Bokit. Just heading into the shoe complex now, and this next corner may be Roadrunner's best chance at a dive bomb. Let's just wait that through. He holds himself back just for now. Let's check and see if Matt's still around. He is disconnected though. Let's send him an invite. That way he can always hop back in. What a strange moment of disconnecting there. Half the field falling out of this. Port to server maintenance is what Europa's saying. Oh wow, okay. Let's see how we go. Get to the end of this one. So if the Forza servers are down, then it's going to be just me for you for a little bit. That's all right. Just finishing there.
Hey, hello.
Hello, Matt. Hey, you just come back.
Hey.
We're just on the final lap. Just on the final lap of this race, mate.
Then I will let you carry on, good sir.
What a strange moment. What happened there? Was there a server reboot?
I don't have the foggiest of a clue, but all I know is that my Xbox just crapped itself.
Ah, perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
That was bizarre. It looked like it affected about 50% of like people in the world. So Roadrunner and Bokit, at very least, those two got away with it. It's a shame to see people though like Nightmare, who have been having tough races, falling out. TX3 Ridge as well, not making it to the end. We'll just hear though, final couple of laps with Roadrunner, who I don't think is going to have a chance again on Bokit. He lost out a little bit last lap, couldn't make it happen. Let's get back there with Sparky DS, still fighting Blaze, who makes a mistake there towards the end of this race. Maybe a chance for the THR driver to get up onto the podium. But you've got to think that gap is going to be unassailable with only a few corners remaining.
Yeah, I mean, just the back end of this track alone is just ridiculous and difficult to do. You've got to take one set specific line Because if you, I mean, it's like, it's classic all 4s and 6 curves. You know what they're like. You know that they're an absolute, excuse the pun, nightmare to get around. But
they are. Here we are then with Bokit crossing the line, taking victory. First race here at Watkins again. He's been followed by AMS Roadrunner. So the Forza Racing champion kept honest by the privateer, everyone's favourite Hobbit. A great start to his campaign in the Z4s for Roadrunner. Everyone else has got a few races of experience tuning the car on him, but also what a great sort of confirmation of how fast Jacob Bokit has become, that he can hold off someone like Roadrunner.
yeah, I mean, Bokit himself is just an animal when it comes to GT cars on a track. He always has been. I mean, even when we did the ORL TCC not that long ago, or it might be that long ago, I don't know. It could... Anyway, just watching someone like Bokit and Roadrunner on a track, yes, everybody has their own different strengths and weaknesses, and it just seems that in the GT cars around it, well, in the Z4 around this track, it seems like Bokit has got a bit more of a strength than what Roadrunner has. But then again, that could be down to the tune, because you could see that Roadrunner had more of a grip-based setup. I could be wrong, I could be completely wrong. But don't mind me, I'm a blithering idiot. And Bokit had the no-aero setup. And he just had that added edge to just keep pulling away on the straights, and it's that just kept, with his momentum, he just kept going. I don't think there was anything Roadrunner could have done.
No, exactly. I don't think so either. So I'm not sure what's going on right now. We're sitting here with the lobby halfway populated. I think a lot of people are looking at server problems on Forza. So I don't know if we're going to see a second race this evening. We're going to hang tight here, YMTV, just chill for a bit. The guys at ORL, they've played before. They know their way around this game, so they'll, I'm sure, send some news over. You'll see it in the Twitch chat there on the screen once the decision's been made. Matt, I mean, this is, have you ever seen anything like this? A disconnection like that?
Yes, I've seen it quite a few times. But the problem is that sometimes there is a few disconnects. Yes, it happens, but when it's of this magnitude, I think that it might indulge a restart. Like race 1 might just be a warm-up session. Let's go a warm-up session. If everyone manages to get back into the lobby, and then race 2 will go underway, then I think race 2 will be more counted towards the points of the series itself instead of what race 1 was. I think I could be wrong. I'm more than probably I'm wrong. It's fine.
Yeah. It's a tough one, isn't it? Maybe some kind of percentage system. I mean, we were just 2 laps away from the end of the race, so pretty tragic for a lot of the guys out there who've been running well. And I'm thinking about people here like TX3 Ridge. Great race from him, but just disconnected with a couple of laps to go, and found himself finishing below the mid-pack, which is going to hurt his championship chances at the end of the day. Roadrunner, I think will be happy with where he measured up on that race, but I think a part of him now will be saying, I wonder if I can get Bokit in race 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's still race 2 to go, so it's still all to play for. We can still have some fun. These guys can still have some fun. So I can't see why not. I mean, we've lost Tisky. Oh, no, wait, Tisky's back.
He's back. Everyone's restarting their Xbox, giving it a go.
Yeah.
So, here we are, online racing leagues, Z4 MSport Cups. If you guys like community racing on Forza, if you're looking at this and thinking like, I'm a dab hand on Forza Motorsport and I'd like to give this a go, then do head on over to onlineracingleague.proboards.com. It's a place to go to sign up for series like the Z4s, although the Z4s are halfway through. You can also join in on Elite Factory Races. That's going to be on Forza Motorsport 7. Also on 7, there's the McGann Cup, and then as well as that, it sounds like there's going to be a single-seater championship coming up soon. You can't sign up for it yet, but do keep your ear to the ground for that one. This, though, it's been a close championship. It's been hard fought, but just every single time, Bokit seems to be able to come out on top. You know, we see him fighting for pole positions, other people maybe getting the early pole, him choking a couple of laps, but every time, that last lap out, he manages to get that time in. And you know, this must just feel like another day in the office for Bokit.
Yeah, I mean, you give like we were saying earlier on, you give Bokit cars and just a track and say run it, you can go nuts. But the man's just an animal. I can't explain it any other way. Well, I can, but I'm not permitted to do so or allowed. But the man's an animal. He can just do things with cars that make people uncomfortable. There you go. That's as far as I'm going with it.
I agree. And yeah. You know, he's leading the championship, and it's not for nothing that he's doing that. Very fast indeed. I think, you know, it's going to be good to check out the team championships. I'm not going to do that today, but next time out, maybe I'll have a good old look, a good old dig around in the online racing leagues championship tables, and yeah, get something together on that, because I'm curious to see which teams are doing well. I suspect that THR have had, I mean, they've had fantastic team results race on race, so I do wonder whether or not they're going to be up there when we look at the team championships. But I think also there's a GTR team here, Matt, who seem to be doing okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've got our very own Eric Pipes and Caesar's Wrath, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, GTR Foxy HD as well, or as you most commonly know him as Pinky Apple Pie, Blueberry Pie, and all those other names that you made up that I was laughing at and couldn't actually speak when you asked me a bloody question. But yeah,
was that Foxy HD?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it was. Which I might have blown the lid on that one because we wanted to have it remain incognito, so you guys didn't do a thing. So, you know, it's fine.
YMTV Secrets Hour here. That's very funny.
We'll keep it a secret within YMTV. Everyone knows what happens at YMTV stays in YMTV.
Oh yeah, exactly. These are private conversations. Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
So yeah, it's been a good championship. It's been a lot of fun. I mean, I'm happy to see ORL back again racing. We had a little bit of a sort of hiatus as everyone settled into Forza 7, and this has been the first season back for ORL since then. And it's been good to see them picking up where they left off, more or less. You know, good attendance, plenty of very fast people out there racing, and a very high quality of racecraft on the track. It's what we like here at YMTV. It's what we try and show you all the time. So I do, you know, kudos to them for that. In other news, though, in non-ORL related news, there are some interesting new seasons coming along. I'm thinking here about Delta Online Racing, DOR. They're launching a vintage
I hope
GT.
it's a truck. Oh.
Did you see? There are the trucks. There are the trucks.
Yes.
Oh, I love the trucks. That's every Sunday. So tune in on Sunday, round 2 of the trucks. I'll be doing it again. That's going to be, you know, we have our broadcasts from 4 to 6, but this was just me racing, me, you know, embracing it. There's a vintage GT championship though coming from DOR, and Nightmare's beaten me to it in the chat. As well as that, Tour's ASCC American Sports Car Championship is returning this weekend. I'm not sure if it's going to be on YMTV. Just because of our scheduling. We'll have to see. Honestly, I am not entirely sure what race that is. I think I asked this earlier in the cast, but if anyone in the chat does know, then tell me. It's not the Sebring 12-hour yet, is it? Can't be. That's in March.
Yeah, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Stop
So this
asking
is
the
a
complicated
sprint
questions.
series. Homestead. There you
Homestead.
go. Nightmare's got it for us. Homestead. So that must be part of the sprint series. Yeah, maybe not. We'll see. Either way, we won't be able to do anything other than a race in it because it'll be on 47. So there's your answer for you.
Yeah. Will YMTV be having our Sebring team like we did for Daytona?
I suspect so. I would love by Sebring to be able to bring a broadcast like this, you know, with all the bells and whistles, and be able to do a real stellar job and put something together for 12 hours that's really sort of interesting to watch and good fun for everyone. So I'm hoping that that's going to be the case. That as well we'll be able to bring something like that for Sebring. I think there's a good chance of that. I mean, I think it's in early March, so there should be some time to get that kind of stuff together.
Well, as long as you kind of have a bit of an eye opener to let me join the racing team again. I love Sebring a lot.
Lead tuner.
So I am more than prepared to sink my entire day of racing that track for 12 hours. But yeah, I've not gotten the Ford GTLM yet because I don't want to do it in that stupid car.
I was thinking of Dodeca stinting you, Matt. Just having you on all 12 hours of the event.
Oh, God. Well, if that's going to be a case, I have one and only one request.
What's that?
Can I take off my language filter?
We're gonna have YMTV after hours. We'll have a second YMTV the dark side.
The dark side with
it's just Matt screaming swears into the camera.
Many swear words into a screen.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm sure we'll be bringing another car for that. You know, we love today's endurance races. They're a lot of fun. In the news for tonight's racing, we're still waiting for race 2 here. I can see the lobby populating in front of me, so I get the strong impression that we will be kicking off the second race tonight, which is, it can only be good news. After a little bit of a sad moment, I'm wondering whether or not it might be appropriate to do something like say the race results from the end of lap 9 count as the end results there, you know, before the disconnection, because I don't think there weren't a lot of changes for position at the end there, so that, you know, it's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I've just had a message from ACR Dunk, who's doing for the results and everything. He's going up for the people that got disconnected. I think it's going to be running off of their lap time basis as like an average speed of the track. So essentially it's like a simulation as to where they theoretically would have ended up if they'd have kept on at that pace, kind of thing.
Wonderful. That's cool. That's a really nice way of doing it. I like that.
Yes. So the people that disconnected, they may have lost out on a couple of points compared to what it is, instead of all their points gone.
Yeah.
So it's still a nice way to balance it out. In my mind, it is, anyway.
Agreed. No, you know, good. You know, that's what's so good about ORL as well, isn't it? You know, you just get a sensible reaction like that at the end of, you know, when something out of the ordinary happens. Just like, okay, well, what's a reasonable thing to do? And that's a dead reasonable thing to do. A good reaction there from the Online Racing League. So yeah, it's why we love them. It's why we love them.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. But there's been times when I've been racing in past ORL leagues and things haven't gone as smoothly and half the lobby have been disconnected, and it's not always in your mind is what you think is fair. In quotations, I'm doing the Dr. Evil thing. I know you guys can't see me, but that's what I'm doing. It happens for a reason. Like, if something bad happens, then ORL have always stepped up and gone, look, it's nothing we can do, but here's something towards the championship. It might not be where you would have actually ended up, but at least it's something rather than nothing, which is always admirable. Always.
Yeah, agreed, and it shows, you know, credits the drivers as well. You know, it gives them the respect they deserve, because these guys put a lot of effort in to making these races you know, making themselves as fast as they possibly can for these races. So yeah, looking forward to race number 2. The lobby's filling up, and I'm getting excited again. Back to Watkins Glen, and it's going to be a reverse grid race. It's my favourite thing in the whole world, Matt. I mean, it's better than PB&J. It's better than I'm not quite sure if it is better.
Bacon and egg.
As an active vapor and ex-smoker, I'm not sure it is better than coffee and cigarettes.
No, I don't think anything is better than coffee and cigarettes. I should know because I've just had coffee and I'm having another cigarette.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's a good combination. So, yeah, it's still pretty good though. It's still right up there. You know, I would compare it to maybe, yeah, like unicorn farts, maybe something like that.
Okay, I was gonna say, can I balance it out? We don't condone smoking here on YMTV. Have an apple.
Oh yeah. Have an apple.
Have an apple.
YMTV brought to you by Apple Trees, sponsored by Apple. We got an email. We have our business thing like many people do on our Twitter.
Tell me that you've
we got emailed by Mother
Apple
Nature. No, literally, Mother Nature called us and she was like, "Hey, I want to up the profile in the esports racing community of apples. Is there anything you can do? Can you help us out?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, no problem." YMTV brought to you by apples.
Yeah,
one a day.
Keeps the doctor away. There you go.
Finishing each other's sentences, Matt. This is what happens. You know, we commentate together for a little bit, and you know, pretty soon we're just on that wavelength.
What of just complete spouting random crap that makes no goddamn sense, and then everyone just sort of nods accordingly and go, "Yep, no, let's just let them carry on as normal."
You know, the funny thing, Matt, like we've been making these shows, like, you know, we've been trying to get like some processes down at YMTV to kind of bring you kind of in between race content, so like, you know, things like hot laps and features on the teams, stuff like that, which would, you know, kind of break up these sort of long talking segments. I was saying earlier, I've been snowed all week. A lot of the team have been very busy at work, so we haven't got any for you this week. We didn't even have a hot lap for you. Actually, though, sitting here and just chewing the cud with you, Matt, you know, just rambling our way through this, I've missed it. I've missed it a little bit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice that you can have, like, in the past when you did the Bounty Hunter for the TCC, if you caught back up to Mellish, and whoever beat him, however many people beat him, got some YMTV stickers. Like, that was amazing. Or when we had the little pre-mess about of flinging a Fiat 595 SSSSS, as you called it, 10,000 foot in the air by a Hummer. Like, it was that little break that we needed. But you're right, I have missed this. I mean, it's nice that I'm on the same wavelength with someone. Like, that's as weird as I am. I like it. It's cool.
It's cool. It is. Yeah. No, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, you know, there it is, like the seamless segue into the, you know, the bit of housekeeping that's called hit the button. So hit that like button or subscribe button and things like that, because an apple a day keeps the doctor away, and you want to keep the doctor away. He's a nasty man, or lady.
He is a nasty.
Ladies are also nasty doctors. Keep them away.
Yeah, they tell you to take all these kinds of medications and stuff when all you need is a quick coffee and a smoke. We don't condone smoking. That's why Mother Nature got in touch.
Yeah, exactly.
This is why it's rarity that I come on board with things on YMTV, because I just talk random crap. It makes no sense.
It makes so much sense. It's too much sense.
Now you're playing with fire. Okay,
Matt, what's next on YMTV? What's our next show? What are we doing after this? It's Thursday right now.
Yeah, we've got the McGanns coming up. Is it this week with the trucks?
Oh yeah, that's it. Is that it? That may be it.
I believe so.
This weekend on Sunday will be round 2 of the Truck Championship. currently my team, me and ACR Surprise, have won all the races in the trucks because we take it really. We take it so seriously. We're so sweaty about it. And
no, do you remember? Do you remember the little rival challenge that we did on the Forza Motorsport 7 demo when everyone jumped on the bandwagon and just started screenshotting the lap times of like Dubai in the Porsche GT2, which is now, lo and behold, a heinous, horrible pile of. Never mind. The truck at Mugello. And
yes.
Oh, and it was the Nismo at Nerv GP.
Yeah, Nerv.
You.
That's right.
And I remember you specifically were one of the fastest people on the entirety of Twitter that I follow in the truck. So
I'm a trucker.
I know. I'm really happy you didn't mess up that word, because otherwise I'd have been laughing or potentially crying at that one. So, I mean, I know you've been asking for the truck series to come along for quite a while, ever since it got put into Forza Motorsport 6. And I have a question to ask you.
Tell me. Ask me. Go on.
Are you fulfilled with the Forza Motorsport franchise now that you get to race the truck?
Okay, I mean, so the first time I raced the truck in a community series, I think it was probably about as meaningful to me as the first time I heard the Beatles. You know, it's like when you open your eyes and you realize, wow, music can be something. You know, like, wow, this is deep and meaningful right here. This is, you know, wow, Forza is unlocking itself before me. So that's what it felt like. I looked into the eye of the storm, Matt, and I saw infinity.
Okay.
And now I can't look away.
So in my mind, right, and bearing in mind my mind is a very weird place. You never go there, right? You've gone from the age of a wee boy to finding out like games and stuff like this and what it is that you want to do with your life and getting fulfillment from doing that. And then you found the world of Forza and you went, this is something, but there's still something missing. There is, it's like the cookies to your milk. I don't know why I keep bringing up cookies. It might think that I have some in the cupboard. But Forza was the cookies. The truck is the milk. And you've combined the two together and just got some form of euphoria when you drive it.
Yeah.
Is that...
If you guys want to experience this euphoria, but you don't want to drive a truck, I can understand that. I would recommend an Apple first.
Oh, you genius.
Or tuning in this Sunday for the Delta Truck Championship on YMTV, where you can have all the fun of the fair without any of the fair.
If you don't want to eat the apple, that's fine. Mother Nature's not going to come around and bite you in the bottom. If you don't want to race the truck yourself, you can watch other blithering idiots not be able to see what's ahead of them drive the truck.
When you overtake someone in the truck racing,
that is scary.
You have to shift from chase view into cockpit view so you can work out where your car is.
This is a problem for me now, right? Because I had a thing when I was driving the truck, right? I have 3 controllers at my house, and I'm going to explain them because it follows on to the story. I have one controller that has a dicky right thumbstick, so that's the one I play Forza with because the bumpers work, right?
Okay.
So I have to. The free cam is not the right stick anymore. It's the buttons. It's the D-pad. I have another controller that I play Rainbow Six with, but it has knackered bumpers, so I can't use any of my special abilities. So I use that controller for the microphone because the other one that's perfectly fine, that's got no faults with it whatsoever, constantly has my microphone on mute and I can't unmute it, right? But the Forza controller that I have plugged in right now, I can't free look with it because the camera keeps naffing off to a certain angle and I can't see anything. So instead of being able to like move the camera when I'm turning with the truck so I can have full view of what's happening, I can't do that anymore. So I'm frightened to drive the truck. I'm petrified of driving it because of that reason.
Oh man. Still though, you should drive it. You should face that fear, Matt. Just face it,
sort of
we're about
twisted
to
my
face a fear of our own. We've seen a mass disconnection in the first race. Second race, we're hoping will go a little bit more smooth, but right now, Matt, reverse grid, Watkins, Glen, who's going to win? Call it.
Don't put this on me. I have bad luck when it comes to this sort of thing. You know I do. I'm going to say that... Alright, I'm going to change this up. Are you ready? Right, getting ready. Bokit's going to lose dramatically. Roadrunner's going to be nowhere near him, and Ridge is going to disconnect again. There you go.
That is brave stuff. Mr. Slayer on pole position, joined by GTR Tacq. Tacq looking for a slightly better result after race 1 with AMS Swift right behind him. You've got to like Swift's chances, haven't you? I mean, he was pacey earlier on today. Craggan. I got there in the end.
It's not just me.
Oh, that's a tough one. He's in 5th with the THR pairing of Tri-Passing and Aston Ash making up the 4th row of the grid. FTR Bobby, I love that paint. That's a lamb chop special, and you can tell is there in 9th with Sparky DS right behind him. Blaze, that black row of AMS liveries. Blaze and Nightmare, 11th and 12th. That's the 6th row of the grid. Lothario, he's in 13th. He had a great race 1. Ridge, unlucky to be disconnected, but he's still managed 4th place in that first race with ads. 3rd from last, and that final row of the grid is Roadrunner and race 1 winner Jacob Bokit.
Whoa. I think it's going to be no warm-up lap, and I think everyone's going to be getting going again. Oh, what is happening? And okay. I am on board with Tri-Passing as we all go. Everyone bombs it down to the first corner. We've got Caesar's Wrath on the inside. Swift is making a nice little getaway. He's moved all the way up to... He's battling Flex for 3rd. Slayer ran a little bit wide. Oh, there's a bit of a shunt, and Ash is in the wall, and Forza thinks he's lagging around, and... Oh my giddy gun. I believe this is going to be a restart.
Do you? That bad? So at the back there, some real...
Oh, yeah.
Real trouble. We're on board here with Craggan. Had a really disappointing start from that 2nd row of the grid. Remember how high up the grid he was. Let's just have a look. No damage on the telemetry. No restart on the cards just yet, but there are cars trailing here. Let's hop on board with Bokit, who has gotten away with it to some extent. He's not lost from that pack of cars in front as Mr. Slayer gets it badly wrong into the laces for the first time in this race and releases Bokit to chase down the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we were saying earlier on that Bokit, you've got to give him something to chase, and he's definitely got something to chase now. He's got Lothario just up ahead, but he's also got the added pressure of Ridge that's not too far behind him, and it looks like the Ridge may have the more grippier setup than Bokit. So I don't know, especially through the corners. Bokit might have to slow down a little bit to sort of battle up against with Lothario and those up ahead, but Ridge might be able to make ends meet with it and just fly on past. We will see.
You know what, I'm going to jump forward right the way to the front of this grid though, because someone has fallen asleep and is dreaming. And he's having a beautiful, wonderful dream. It's GTR Tacq who's leading the race here at the ORL Z4 MSport Challenge. A very fast driver in his own right, of course, but not the luckiest in league racing. But he's having it handed to him on a gold platter right now as FTR Bobby, THR Flex and AMS Swift fight like crazy for 2nd place. He's got this opportunity now to pull away from that pack. We're on board now with Flex and that battle for 2nd. Bobby just holds that position and defends it out coming through the 2nd lap.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on board with Bobby looking backwards, and it is a weird spectacle to hold, don't get me wrong, but we've got an AMS duo that's coming up, and Swift has made a move up along the inside of Flex, and it looks like it's made it stick. Blaze is now going to capitalize on this, and he's just shutting that gap between the two of them. Ooh.
I love the aggression from Swift there, taking no
Bobby.
prisoners. He saw that gap and he just threw everything he had at it. Good brave move, nothing dirty about it. And Flex yeah, just haven't been, being shocked off the racing line there. So Swift up to 3rd position, and he's got a chance at this. He can't make mistakes like that though, just clipping the curb there at the very early part of that turn in. Let's hop back a little bit once again, maybe get on board with Bokit. 9th position now, so moving up in the world, and he's looking forward towards a very, very scrappy pack that hasn't really separated yet since the start of the race.
Yeah, I mean, Bokit just at the start of this lap was about 150 to 200 foot away at this at the point that he's at now. And I mean, I know that the gap's enlarging a little bit, but Bokit now sees chance. I mean, it ridges through on Caesar's Wrath going around turn 1, dived up along the inside, ran it wide, and he's made it stick. But John's just not having any. I mean, Caesar's Wrath, sorry, I apologise. He's not having any of it, and he's just taking his position back off a ridge. And if Caesar's Wrath's anything to go by, he don't give it up too easy. He really doesn't. So those two battling will allow Bokit to come straight up. Who is that that's off? That's Swift. Ooh, rejoined.
What are we looking here?
Weird.
That's right, Swift again off at the bus stop. We saw that in race 1. Same driver. Has he got damage? Let's throw up that telemetry. No damage for him, but yeah, losing out positions. Bokit with a free pass there up to 8, and Swift now sitting behind him. Where's Roadrunner in all this? He's just behind Swift, eyeing him up, so he hasn't managed to get away yet. Swift throws one up the inside of Bokit, but no bueno. He's going to have to stay behind just for now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna slip all the way up to the top, because where is Tacq gone? Tacq's dropped down to 4th, and that's allowed Sparky, Blaze, and now Bobby that's leading the race.
Tacq with another slide. He's off rhythm right now. You can see him just losing out over and over. THR Flex comes through. Caesar's Wrath, Ridge, Swift. Bokit's going to be next. He's up the inside, and then it's Roadrunner who's going to want to make quick meet of Tacq as well. The longer he fights, the worse it's going to work out. And there we go, Tacq with another mistake, a bump on the rear. He is limping into the pit lane. So disaster for GTR Tacq, leader of this race at the start, and now well out of the action.
You're going to have a bit of a scour on through, and that's Aston Ash that's gone into the pit lane with him. I don't know if it was on purpose or it might have been of a added accident between the two, but I think that's the pair of them now out of the race.
We go aboard here with Bokit though, and Roadrunner is making his move, and that was so brave. Roadrunner between two on the way into the bus stop manages to carve his way past another. That was a two-cheek butt clench for me watching that. I've got to admit it. That is
I'm in agreement with you.
That was insane. Move of the race.
Properly crackers.
Just so risky.
Crackers. Very risky, but it looks like it made it work. I mean, on the outside of the bus stop itself, he did kind of turn his car into a lawnmower, but we'll gloss over that. But he's made it stick. I mean, I thought the Bokit were going to be able to pinch him after that little mistake, but no, Roadrunner's now ahead of Bokit, so now we just got to wait and see if Bokit can find that little gap, find that little tear in his nice, precise work that Roadrunner does, and just go. Gotta wait and see.
You know what I'd do if I was Bokit? I'd just start tapping it. I'd just give him a love tap every single time he breaks. You know, just keep doing it. And I think it would just annoy him so much that he'd start making mistakes, because Roadrunner's looking super on it right now. Bokit trying to follow him through. Looked like a bit of aero wash there in the final corner, and Swift makes his move. So Roadrunner looking very peachy right now. His bodyguard sitting between him and 9th place Jacob Bokit, up ahead in this race. FTR Bobby leads the way. Bobby, you know, we haven't seen that much from him yet. He's always been very promising, regular in Lobby A, but just not there with the race results. Super defensive into the bus stop. Blaze getting attacked by 3rd place Sparky. This is it's going well for Bobby. It's looking good for him.
Yeah, really looks like it's going well for Bobby, but I hopped onto Sparky and he was 2 wheels on the grass going around the outer loop, and you really don't want to get close to the rumble strip on any of these parts of the track. You really don't. You are brave if you do, but Sparky managed to make it stick and he didn't lose too much ground to Blaze, and it looks like that he can still pull it back. I mean, he was just coming up to the halfway point of the race. There's still a lot can happen in a lap, so there's still a shed load to go through.
There is. It's a long way through it. It's a long way to go, as you say. Tacq, previous leader of this race, having a rough time and falling well back now after his pit stop. Sparky DS looking forward to with this leading pack. I think it's going to be all about whether or not the drivers up here fighting for the lead can break that fight with the other two. If one of them can manage it, if Bobby can get his pace down now, start to gap a little bit on AMS Blaze, then he might have a chance to bring this race home. I mean, I worry that I don't know that the pace difference between the front of the pack and the back of the pack is as high as we might normally see it. I wonder if Bobby's just got this in the bag, because it doesn't look like, you don't see Bokit or Roadrunner charging through the pack here.
No, but one thing I will say is that Ridge has found his way back up to 4th position now, and he made a very nice move on Flex coming around the final corner of the lap, and he's just surgical at the very moment in time. He's pulled a gap out on Flex, and Flex is no slouch. There's also got Roadrunner, and I've forgotten who that is. Hang on a second. Swift, thank you very much. Breathing down his neck, and Azaz is not that far behind as well. I say that, and it looks like Swift has dropped back a little bit, so no, I'd forget I said anything.
I'm gonna throw up the telemetry here before I panic. There are no quit stops in this race. There's no mandatory pit stop, which is actually very bad indeed for Jacob Bokit, who slipped all the way down to 15th position. That will be a pit stop. He will have taken a pit stop. I don't know whether or not he knows something we don't, or whether that was just damage for Bokit. It certainly looks like his car's taken a bit of a bruising there on the front left, and that would be very consistent with that big block of concrete in the middle of the bus stop chicane. So I wonder if Bokit has taken a bit of a pounding there in the bus stop and has had to limp back, losing all that time, all those feet. A disaster for the championship leader.
I think that is Sparky that's had a bit of a, I'm going to call it a Matt moment of pure rage-induced curbery, let's call it, and ended up going sideways and backwards into the pits.
Wow. I'm looking out for him here. I can't see him on the... I wonder if he's quit out of the race. He's gone.
He's gone.
Deary me. Deary me.
Very
He's having a good race as well.
Yeah.
Having a good race as well. Let's get back up with that leading pack. Who are you on board with?
I mean, it looks like it's closing up a little bit. I'm just going to hop onto with Roadrunner again. I mean, that gap all the way up to Bobby is... It looks like Roadrunner's going to be making a move on the inside. A Flex going around Shoe, and he's made it stick. That was bloody awesome. But now we've got Bobby, who just a couple of laps ago was, what, I would say around 1,000 foot, anywhere between 750 to 1,000 foot ahead of where Roadrunner was at that moment in time. But now you've got Blaze, Ridge, and Roadrunner, and Flex as well, that are very slowly but surely breathing down his neck, and that's got to add pressure. That's got to add a lot of pressure that I don't think Bobby was expecting.
I agree. Bobby, I think, was hoping to have broken this pack a little bit by now, but he's still there, and that may well be his downfall. Lap 7 of 11 is coming to an end. We're going to start lap 8 any second now. Just going to hop back a few places here to FTR Ads. Running in 7th. I can see two people so close to each other there. Maybe I've hit the wrong place. I haven't. Nightmare just behind him, putting the pressure on. such an easy, it's an easy track to follow on, Watkins. So many fast corners. And this is what I meant, like, there's no obvious one place to do your overtaking move. There's no, you know, there's no turn one at Laguna Seca, you know, where you just have that big heavy braking moment where you're able to throw it in there. Here it's, everything is fast, everything's flowing. It's all about the line coming into the corner. And you can very easily find yourself just being clipped if you put your nose on the inside of somebody's car. They might just turn in on you rather than give you space. Nightmare being frustrated by ads here, sticking back there in 8th position, up ahead. The battle continues for the lead, and I want to get on board with Roadrunner because that is going to be closing in all the time, I suspect. And now he's putting the pressure onto TX3's newest signing, Ridge.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Blaze that's also just up ahead that I thought he were going to be sticking really close up to Bobby, but Bobby went extremely defensive and took the complete narrow line. Blaze give him a little tap, slowed him down, and now Ridge is taken back up into 2nd. Roadrunner, I don't think I've seen a train like this in quite a while. This is a different spectacle for me. Bobby's still holding his own.
Tense making, isn't it? And you've got to think, you know, looking backwards there, Flex is in touch. He is making this a 5-car battle.
Ooh,
as Roadrunner fans out wide. Blaze looks for it, and Ridge looks for the lead from Bobby. So ex-teammates Ridge and Bobby fighting into turn 1. Current teammates Roadrunner and Blaze. Roadrunner makes it stick. He's going to be up the inside of Ridge before turn 2. So Roadrunner making 2 positions in 2 corners. That's why he's the Forza Racing champion. He knows how to make it stick. Up ahead, FTR Bobby is starting to look like a deer in headlights. Can he hold back? 2 laps remain.
And if that first tiny little straight, well, start finish straight on this lap is anything to go by, Bobby's going to be able to make it stick, but that's a little punt there from Roadrunner, which just slowed him down. Now Ridge has come back into play. Tried to make a move up the inside, but it just couldn't fan out for him the way he wanted to, and that's a little bit late on the brakes. Bobby's gone. Roadrunner's now in
gone.
the lead.
Turning across Roadrunner's nose there. We're going to be looking at that moment a lot, I think, in the coming moments, because that was on the limit. Roadrunner, did he leave enough space? Did he turn in on his place? And Bobby throwing his car away. So Roadrunner takes the lead of the race. Ridge and Blaze follow him along. Top on board here with Blaze. Big shame for Bobby, we should say that as well. He's run an immaculate race so far. Just to be thrown away there towards the end is very tough indeed for him. AMS Blaze still looking to make this an AMS 1-2, but TX3 Ridge doesn't mind what Blaze wants. He wants to see if he can win this race.
Yeah, I mean, Ridge was on form last week at Silverstone. He just looked surgical in everything he did. He just pinned it and he kept going. But Roadrunner this week is definitely putting up Ridge's bang for his buck, and so is Blaze by the looks of it, and Swift isn't backing down neither. So I mean, just watching them try and find out who's going to be breaking where, who's going to be making what mistake and where, trying to read the situation as much as what they are doing. It's going to take a toll on them. I mean, I know that there's not that much left of the race, but
there's not much left in there.
On one corner.
In their tanks either. Blaze
and there's
sniffing.
Oh, he's trying, but he's on the curve. That's not where he wants to be. But he's made it stick, but now he's got to hold it around the outside on Shoe unless he can get the switch back on Ridge. I think he's going to play it safe.
It's so tempting to throw a deep dive bomb here, and Blaze
like that
gives
one.
It a little go. Little go. Not quite enough, so Blaze waiting still, sitting behind Ridge. I wonder though, if Ridge gets a couple of corners without having to defend, I wonder if he can just gap Blaze slightly. I feel like he's got this dynamite pace. He's able to close into Roadrunner. Roadrunner needs, I think, Blaze to be attacking the TX3 driver in second, and that's a... Ooh, that was a very, very close one there with the back marker.
That was very close. That was heart in mouth. And if you were on about buttocks clenching earlier on, that definitely was one of them.
100%. 100%. Let's just hop back now as we start the final lap of the race. 11 of 11 to 6th position. AMS Nightmare, who's up the inside of Ads, making that move deep. Ads wants to hang it around the outside. It's never going to happen. Not at turn 1. Nightmare's first on the power. He's got all that straight. He's making that gap happen. Look at that, 54 feet already out of turn 1. Nightmare, Swift, Blaze, Roadrunner, 4 AMS drivers inside the top 5.
I mean, AMS has definitely come out in form tonight. I mean, if AMS is involved, you know something is going to go crazy. And just look, the amount of AMS cars that are up in the top 5 alone is ridiculous. I don't think I've seen a single team run this many cars up in the top 5. I mean, with the exception of TX3 Rage. He's the only one separating them. He's the only one separating them, and you've got to give credit where credit's due. These guys have definitely come out in force, and they are definitely a force to be bloody reckoned with.
100% AMS here, putting their flag in the ground. Blaze defending like crazy all over the road there on the way into the toe. And that's going to give Swift a chance here, one chance to make it an AMS only podium. Up the inside of Ridge he goes.
Oh,
Nightmare
wow.
does both of them. Absolutely beautiful move from Nightmare as Blaze is muscled out of the podium altogether. Swift in 3rd. Roadrunner is going to take the win here, but AMS bullying their way into a podium with an absolutely brutal team ride.
That was
incredible to watch.
Absolute stonker. I don't think I've ever used that turn of phrase ever in the history of me being able to speak, but that was a stonker. I don't even know what it means, it just feels right.
Agreed.
Wow.
Nightmare there. Absolute opportunist. Throwing the speed in. You could see him just absolutely at qualifying pace. There's 3 cars on the outside of that corner. Whips himself up into 2nd position. Great move from him. Swift takes 3rd. He's had a rough old couple of races, and you can see the knocks and bangs on that BMW Z4. But it's all worked out in the end. A podium position will be a nice way to get a nice pat on the back after that. Blaze, tough race from him, throws it away on the last lap.
Yeah, it was unlucky, but at the same time, TX3 Rage, it was even more unlucky for him, being all the way up there in 3rd, I believe, at the time, and then have the other 2 AMS boys just jump up alongside. Nothing he could do. He just got swallowed up, and then I'd just give Ridge a tiny little bit of a tap coming around the corner just after heel, I believe it is, and that was all she wrote. AMS complete podium knockout. Congratulations to those guys.
Brilliant
Awesome
to see.
race.
I think, you know, I get the feeling that we're going to be looking at the move between Roadrunner and Bobby time and time again. That was it was a difficult one to call in the moment, and I won't try now, but I'm going to be curious to watch a replay of that later. The final moment, though, that battle with Ridge, you know, where I'm gonna call them out right now, Matt. Where are Ridge's TX3 teammates? We see, you know, half the lobby A in other series is TX3, and here TX3 Ridge is getting bullied out by sheer numbers by AMS. That is, you know, he needs his teammates. Come on, buddies. Come on, TX3. Get out.
Get off
of the race.
Forza 7.
Your teammate needs you.
Yeah, get off Forza 7. Come support your teammates. I know I can't really say anything considering I don't do this sort of thing, but come on. Ridge is out here all on his lonesome. Give him some added firepower. Help him get his his own back. Work his way up to 1st, where he belongs. I mean, if like Silverstone's anything to go by, Ridge just finds his groove early on and he gets going. Same with Bokit. It was unfortunate with what happened with Bokit this race, but my God, those guys in AMS. How much coffee are they on? I don't drink that much. That's me.
Brilliant brilliant to see. You know, I was, you know what, Matt? I was half expecting that. I was half looking forward to getting that nice little podium moment after the race. I want to see all three of them AMS drivers, like you sometimes do. But yeah, of course we're on 4 to 6, so I didn't get that. Hopefully soon. This championship's shaping up. I'm shocked to see Bokit, probably his worst performance of the championship so far, 13th place. We didn't see the accident, didn't see how it happened, but almost certainly planting the front left of that car into the concrete at the bus stop. Championship leader dropping well down here in the second race, and that's plenty of championship points that his competitors will have over him. So how will that work out in the coming weeks? Tune in to find out. We'll be back 1 week's time with Laguna Seca. That's round 6 of the Online Racing League MSport Cup. It's been incredible so far. I'm looking forward to this one, Matt. I mean, just crazy racing every single time.
It definitely is. I mean, there's nothing more of a spectacle of how great Forza actually is, unless you come to the places like ORL, Delta, Tora, anything that's on this kind of level. You know for a fact people are here to just race. Never mind the crap and stupid idiots that happened in Hoppers, because that's just for, in my eyes, mucking about. Here, where people come to race, you've got to bring your A game. If you don't bring your A game, you might as well not bother, because these guys are on fire week in, week out, and that final lap just proved it.
It definitely did. Awesome. I'm going straight back to watch that again. As ever, we've been YMTV. Do send over. What am I talking about? Do click the buttons. Click the buttons that say things like, send us your apples. YMTV brought to you by Apples and Nature.
Mother Nature. Yeah.
But do click all the buttons. Like, subscribe, follow, those kinds of things. And yes, we will see you next time out. If you can't possibly wait for your next fix of YMTV, a full week for the next Z4s, don't worry, we got you covered. Tune in this Sunday. We'll be racing some trucks. That's going to be the second half of the second event out of 3 of the Delta Truck Championship. I haven't really got the nomenclature for that one down quite yet. But Truck Championship, let's call it that.
Yeah,
and then of course on Mondays we've got the McGanns. Just kind of trucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, everybody likes a bit of trucks, especially you guys. I know I can't see it, but I can hear your face just light up as soon as you press the A button to get into the truck. I just see it happen. Like the white,
ladies and gents, thank you very much for tuning in. We're going to catch you all later on. Have a good night, and yeah, we'll see you later.